All right, so we're driving.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our road trip.
You know what this is kind of like?
What?
Lindsay, don't get jealous or upset. This is kind of like Lindsay and I's Denali adventure.
How come? Well, why don't you tell me not to get jealous? Why do I have to always be compared?
Lindsay and I's adventure already happened.
But why do I always have to be compared to Lindsay all the time?
All right, moving on because
I'm just feeling like to make it fair, Lindsay and I should go on a road trip together without you, and then that way everybody has experienced the same thing. Thoughts? Just drive.
How come you thought it necessary to GPS this trip?
Are we already?
Yeah.
Let me just tell everybody how fun it is to take a road trip with Jameson. She has no idea she's never been to Laughlin. She has no idea how to get there or where we're going, but she sure knows how to criticize things. At one point we're driving and I'm stuck in the right lane, which turns into an exit lane, okay, for an exit called Wagon Wheel. It is not the exit that I need to take. Jameson doesn't know that, but she has no problem. And by the way, the exit is a half a mile away. So is this the part where we exit? We're going to exit on Wagon Wheel? Is this where we exit on Wagon Wheel? And the fact is, you didn't even know that. We could have been exiting on Wagon Wheel, but you still had to be shitty about it.
I actually wasn't trying to be shitty.
Right, I just feel that's the way you talk.
At that moment in time.
Oh, God.
I know, I'm a little spicy today.
Yeah, I know. So we are, to not answer your question, if you've never been to Laughlin from Las Vegas, it's essentially one road. All right, you have to drive out to Boulder City. You take this one road, and it is the loneliest road in history. We'll try and get some footage of the loneliest road in history. And then the road stops when you get to Laughlin. But I felt it completely necessary to put it in my GPS, and it's only because I have a GPS on my phone now.
Now that you have all of these new aged options on your phone, you have to use it.
Well, it's like when you were a kid, how many phone numbers did you have memorized? Are we just going to leave it on me this whole time? How many phone numbers did you have memorized? 1,000? You could remember everybody you knew, your new phone number.
Right.
And then the second you got a cell phone and all that shit was just programmed into your phone, I don't know one person's phone number.
Besides your own, right?
And I only know that so I can tell other people.
Yeah.
But in fact, this was great. So you and I mean, this probably happened maybe 4 or 5 months ago. You and I have been friends for 4 years. And then out of nowhere, I think it was when you went to Alaska.
Yeah.
And you were calling me from Lindsay's phone.
Yeah.
You're like, since when do you have a 911? Why do you have a New York number? I'm like, well, I've had it since you've known me. Because I used to live in New York. But yeah, you had no idea. Until that moment, you had no idea.
Well, because why? There's no reason.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
So, back to the GPS.
I don't know. So I put it in. And essentially the GPS is one blue line that goes 100 miles in one direction.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So we've been driving for 38 minutes on the exact same road.
Yeah.
And his GPS is still on.
It's quiet. It's, which is a shame. I think that the GPS lady has kind of a sexy voice happening.
Really?
I'd like to meet her.
Do you ever named?
No. What? No. We haven't gotten that serious yet.
All right. How much longer do we have to drive?
Probably another half hour to Laughlin.
So I can probably take a nap.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you need to take a nap.
It's nap time.
Do you want to show everybody the road we're on?
Sure.
Why is it that every time I give an idea, you make it sound like it's the stupidest fucking idea?
I gave side views already. So now I'll just do a...
Okay.
See, I did a side view. Now here's...
Why don't you tell them about your
desert.
whole big hills have eyes nonsense?
Well,
we had a whole conversation about how the hills have eyes is real.
It could be real. If you watch those movies, you know it's possible. Anyway,
If you watch a movie, you know it's possible?
Anyway, the desert freaks me out with the mountains all around because that's all I can think about is mutated people living in mountains trying to get you and then eat you.
Literally, this is how the conversation went. She's like, I get freaked out around here because of those movies. And I'm like, yeah, well, they're pretend. And you're like, yeah, but they could be real. Mutants could be, and then they get people and then they eat them. Mm-hmm. That could be real. Yep. And I'm like, how could that be? Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, there it is. We'll try not to get eaten by mutants in their hills that have eyes in them.
Calm down. Are you alright?
You got me worked up today.